I guess I can take a look here. Hardpoint arrows. Very high AP. Like, crazy high armor piercing. Holy crap. Okay, so modify. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can do fire damage with this. So let's take super fire damage. Let's take terror, and then we'll just take flat damage for our last slot. Then for my armor, resist freeze, resist range. That one's purple, so we're definitely going to take that. And then this I could take range, melee, melee, shock and range, stealth, resist corruption and melee. I think I'm going to take... I'm going to take more resist melee. Okay, I'll do this. I'll do this. So I get corruption resistance and melee resistance. And now I can make hardpoint arrows. Medium impact and high tear. Useful for fighting big enemies. Cool beans. I like that. And then for crafting... Don't want to replace any of these. So this one is what? Handling, tear, and shock? No, I'm happy with the one I have. Yeah, look at that. 93 against armor. Not quite as high as the Tear Blast arrows, but Tear Blast arrows are also don't do damage, whereas these ones do. Cool. Alright, so my tutorial quest we can do on the way over here. Though we need to pick up that vantage point. Get to the capital. In foreign lands. The Forsaken Village, we're not going to do that yet. I think that's outside of Meridian itself. We're not going to do the hunting ground just yet. Okay. Let's go hunt for some robots. Do I think we'll get any kind of rework to the Lizardmen with the presumably upcoming DLC? Maybe some small stuff. Like, I could see them reworking the, Oh, come on. Ah! Little shit.
This'll last.
We do need to be on the lookout for wild animals, because we need, like, a ton of fat. But I think the geomantic web has a very, very high chance to be reworked soon. But I don't think they're going to rework the... I don't think there's going to be too much beyond that. Let's actually set a trap. That might be a little high. There we go.
That wasn't a warning.
Thank you for your armor plates. Sorry, not sorry for killing you.
That was worth it.
I'm just kind of... A little protection never hurts.
Machine's quick.
Thank you, that's all I needed. Sorry for bothering y'all. I was on the Discord. Who was at fault for the War of Vengeance? So the War of Vengeance between the elves, the High Elves, and the Dwarves was ultimately caused by the Dark Elves. Without the Dark Elves, the War of Vengeance could not have happened. However, that being said, there were a lot of other forces that were involved. I mean, even the Demons of Chaos were involved, doing their damnedest to get the war started. But I would say that the war was actually very avoidable if it had not been for the Phoenix King at the time. Phoenix King Calidor II, also known as Calidor the Warrior, which is Calidor the Warrior is the only nice way he's referred to. He is universally hated, historically, because he was a terrible king who, I mean, the only reason the elves even elected him to be the Phoenix King was because when his father died, Calidor I, the elves loved Calidor I. He was a he was an amazing king. And the elves were loath to lose his leadership after he died. Particularly because he was the one who was responsible for defeating Malekith in the first place. I mean, the War of Vengeance, or sorry, the Sundering happened, and during the Sundering, you know, is when Malekith kind of revealed himself and tried to take over Ulthuan through force. And by doing that, the one who ended up rising up to defeat him, because most of the potential Phoenix Kings were slaughtered, was, of course...
Enough of work. Maybe I'll go fishing tomorrow.
Was, of course, Calidor I. So they didn't want to lose him as a leader, and they incorrectly hoped and believed that his son would be very similar in rulership. They were like, well, you know, it's his son, so if we elect him, you know, maybe he will be like his father was. When, honestly, Calidor II was not like his father at all. I mean, Calidor I was deeply loved by the dragons, and the dragons could not stand Calidor II. He's actually one of the few princes of Calidor that never had the ability to bond with a dragon. And it was because on a deep spiritual level, the dragons didn't trust him, because they could tell that he was incredibly arrogant and conceited. You know, he was someone that believed that because of his bloodline, he was superior to all of his kin, and it was royalty because he's the descendant of Calidor, not because he earned it. And he was the opposite of humble. And so when the elves elected him to be king, they followed him, and a lot of the elves were pretty racist against the dwarves. You know, many of the elves viewed the dwarves as lesser beings that were like ugly, mud-dwelling savages. Ooh. That was not the right direction. Whoops. Good thing I saved right there. Yes, that is definitely a fail. Yeah, big crunch. So, but anyway, Calidor II ultimately is why the war happened. Actually, no. Calidor II was why the war was not prevented when it should have been. High King Gotrek Starbreaker did not want a war with the elves. That was the last thing he wanted. Because he knew it was going to be ruinous to both empires. And so, you know, he was like, okay, this is madness. We cannot do this. Like, to have this war would be the ultimate folly. And so he,
No space.
he did not... Oh, look at that. There's, like, big planes. Gotrek Starbreaker did not want the war. Because, I mean, it was prosperous for both their nations to be allies and to be friends. And they had only fairly recently, as far as, like, the grand timescale of things is concerned, you know, the forces of chaos had only been defeated for a few centuries. So, you know, he very, very much did not want... Actually, no, it was longer than a few centuries. It had been a good while. And, but Calidor II was so arrogant that when Gotrek Starbreaker, like, some shit went down, and Gotrek Starbreaker, all the dwarves, or not all the dwarves, a large subsection of the dwarves, including High King Gotrek Starbreaker's son, Snorri Halfhand, they wanted to go to war with the elves. Like, half the dwarves were also super racist against the elves. And they were like, we don't need these guys, you know, they're arrogant, they're sniveling cowards, they're weaklings, they use magic, like all this stuff. They don't understand our ways, we should kick them out. And Gotrek Starbreaker was like, no, we're gonna settle this diplomatically. Like, we're allies, we're not gonna just go to war with these guys. Because although there is evidence of them attacking our trade caravans, it doesn't make sense. So let's send some diplomats to Ulthuan who will go talk to the Phoenix King, and we will settle this with, like, reparations in gold and open an investigation. But unfortunately, when the dwarf ambassadors arrived in Ulthuan and they presented their case to the Phoenix King, who looked at them as, like, dirty monkey savages come to treat with a demigod, you know, they showed up and he heard them out. Like, they made their case, and at first he was beyond insulted that they even had the gall to come talk to him and, like, try and reason with him the way they did. He was also further beyond incensed that they tried to blame the High Elves for what had happened, because he was of the opinion that, you know, oh, my people wouldn't have done this, but even if they did, you know, I don't give a damn if they did, because, you know, y'all are less than dirt and you're disgusting little creatures. I don't care. And the ambassadors were kind of like, okay, so I guess we'll just go home and tell the High King that you're kind of upset about this, and, like... Sorry, one second. You know, we'll go home and tell the High King that you're refusing all this stuff, and then this is where the Phoenix King really fucked up. Is they were like, alright, we're going to go back and tell the High King that you're not interested in doing all this, and that you're not interested in hearing him out. And Calidor said, well, no, you don't get to go home. In fact, you came here and you insulted me in my court. So the only way I'm going to let you leave is I'm going to punish you for your error. You know, I'm going to punish you for having the lack of foresight to dare come before me with these accusations and these demands. And so he had the dwarves seized and had them shaved. Which, like, if you know anything about dwarfs, like, to even cut like, a little bit off a dwarf's beard is enough to, like, send them into a frothing rage. But the elves, just completely, and they did not do a nice job. Like, the dwarfs were, like, wounded badly by how much of a hack job the elves did cutting off their beards. And then they sent them home. And so the dwarves returned to the High King, shaven and disfigured, which, like, that hurled Gotrek Starbreaker over the edge. Like, he was like, oh fuck, we're going to war. So I would heavily argue that the elves bear a significant amount of the blame. I mean, I would say the Dark Elves are ultimately responsible, but the High Elves had a massive role to play in that role. Yeah, one of the ambassadors ended up being the first Demon Slayer. Like, he was the first Demon Slayer to ever exist, because he ends up killing the Greater Demon of Tzeentch that also had his fingers in the pie of trying to cause the War of Vengeance to happen. Alright, let's listen to this audio log.
The Pucka Shitstorm Tour, Day 9. I was setting up my tent right here when Wyatt's call came through. I came as fast as I could, but you'd already slipped into a coma. We never got a chance to say goodbye.
I thought the Demon Slayer was the Hill Dwarf who killed his king. Oh, maybe I have to reread it. There's a lot of dwarf characters. Because I know the Greater Demon of Tzeentch ends up being the dwarf from Karak Zorn, or he ends up pretending to be the dwarf from Karak Zorn because no dwarf left Karak Zorn alive. Alright, we're nearly there. Is there anything of interest on the way there? Nope. Alright. There it is! We have arrived. We've made it to Meridian, chat. At long last.
I'm sorry for the wait, but all goods entering the city are subject to search.
Can I?
This is outrageous. We're loyal citizens.
No.
How
That's a
long do we
pet.
have to wait? What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and let everything spoil?
I thought Meridian was open to all Karja.
I don't believe the Karja in Shadow want peace.
What happened to Ursa
This
has
ceasefire
nothing
will
to
prove
do
be
with
our
us.
undoing.
Okay, so some shit's going down. Are they not gonna let me in? Oh my god, there's so many of them.
What's going on here? Owen's in there, somewhere. And so's Erend. That other
Dude, I
outlaw
love
I
this
talked to the night before the
architecture. This
proving.
is super cool.
Erend said he'd introduce me to his sister if I visited Meridian. Said she was captain of the Vanguard.
The High Elves should get a unique building for taking Karazakarak. I agree. I think if the High Elves take Karazakarak, they should get a Vault of the Phoenix Crown achievement building, because that's where the original Phoenix Crown is. It's still in the vaults of Karazakarak. After Gotrek Starbreaker took it off of Kalidor II's head after he killed him, because only Kalidor II would have been so ballsily arrogant to wear his, like, full crown in battle.
There. In light of the recent attack, no stranger passes into Meridian without submitting to search.
Recent attack? What are you talking about?
The murder of Captain Ursa and her vanguards, of course.
Oh, Captain
Ambushed
Ursa's
by
dead?
Shadow Karja forces in Redridge Pass.
The hell are
Ursa.
Shadow Karja?
You mean Erend's sister is dead?
How would you know his name?
I know Erend. Summon him. I need to speak to him.
Ha! I doubt that Erend, the new captain of the Vanguard, a man in grief, is going to waste his time on a grimy outlander.
Aloy, hey, you're alive. I thought you were dead. Make way, make way.
All the way to Meridian just to see me?
The dwarf.
You been drinking?
Ah, not really. A little. So you're alive. This we should celebrate. The drink's on me.
we need to talk alone, and you need to pull it together.
Over there.
So you approve?
Of course I approve. From now on, she may come and go from this city as she pleases.
As you wish, sir.
Yay, our
There,
drunk friend.
alone as you asked. And what did you want to tell me?
Sorry to hear about your sister, dude.
I heard what happened to Ursa. I'm sorry. I know she was special to you.
Special to me? Special to everyone. She always knew what to do. She bossed everyone around. She kept me in line. Now I'm supposed to fill her shoes. And instead, here I am, stumbling around in them.
Heart.
I lost someone too. At the Proving, the man who raised me. His name was Rost.
That's terrible. But why is it every time something terrible happens, everyone else tells you the worst thing that ever happened to them, as though that makes it easier?
Well, I mean...
Yeah, why is that?
Empathy.
Anyway,
Sympathy.
there was something you wanted to tell me?
A lot has happened since we last spoke. The Proving was attacked by a group of killers. Not many of us survived.
We were in the village when we heard explosions up on the mountain. Some of your braves came back, said most of the contestants were dead. I've never heard such a wail of grief as the sound that rose up from your people. How did you survive?
How I survived is less important than how I was targeted.
Targeted? What do you mean?
The killers came for me because of Olin.
What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense.
I need to find Olin. I need to know what he knows.
He's got a little thingy!
He's a friend.
No, he's a traitor. I don't know who the killers are or what they want, but I do know that Olin is working with them.
But, I mean, this...
I don't need you to understand, Erend. I just need you to take me to him.
He's not here. He went scrounging for scrap and relics days ago. It could be anywhere.
Are there any places he frequents, places he returns to?
A house. Here in Meridian.
Okay, then take me there. I need to search it.
I guess. As long as I'm there to witness the search.
Let's boogie.
I need to see Olin's place. Now.
Okay. Come on.
Oh, it was the Scarnari. Cool. Oh, that's right, because the ambassador dies. The ambassador dies fighting the High Elf General.
I just dropped.
Oh god, isn't there like a control for walking? Is it caps lock? Yeah.
Is she a Nora?
Apparently they're letting anyone into the city these days.
How long will Avad hide in his palace? Till they siege to the Citadel. Blood for blood. Vengeance for Ursa. How long will Avad hide in his palace?
It looks like the people
Year
are
after
pissed.
year, why does he spare those who enslaved and tortured and butchered? Erend, you should want vengeance more than anyone. Your own sister, murdered. And her death, unavenged?
One more word, you scorched out slag, and I'll throw you in jail myself! Now get out of here, or I'll give you all a kick in the ass!
Maybe not the best way to handle that.
About Ursa's murder.
Not now.
Okay, how are we gonna get in? That was subtle.
Here we are. Try not to break anything. No, other than the door.
All of this for one man.
It pays to have connections in the Sun King's court.
Why do I have my weapon out? Alright. Stick around a little bit. That's his family. What do we have here? What is... Ooh. What the fudge? There's something up there, but I couldn't seem to scan it. Okay, I think that's where I need to go. Can I go in here? Nope. Yeah, this music is freaking phenomenal, dude. I love, like, this is giving me, like, hardcore, like, city and, like, just a good RPG game vibes. Okay, this has to be something, right? What is it trying to tell me? I can't seem to scan this. And like, it looks like there's a... It looks like there's like a second story there, but I can't hang from the ledge. Can I push it off? I don't remember there being a push command in this game. Wait. Maybe? Because, yeah, I also feel that I should be able to, like... It's clearly trying to tell me to interact with this thing. What the f... Should be able to push it. Do I have to, like, shoot it or something? Do I have to, like... Maybe I have to talk to... Scan the carpet that you're pushing it onto? Okay.
I need to ask you something.
This is your show.
Well, let me try talking to him real quick.
Are you sure you're okay?
I'm sober enough, alright? I don't need another lecture.
That's not what I meant. I was talking about what happened outside with the crowd.
I don't want to talk about that. We're here because of what you said about Olin, so do what you need to do.
Did Olin ever invite you in?
Nah. Closest I got was a doorstep to help him home after a night out. We drank a river that night, but I hold it well. Usually.
You said Olin has connections in the royal court. Does he know the Sun King personally?
No. He served the court as a scout sometimes and sold ancient trinkets to nobles, but he never had an audience with the king. If you're right, and Olin's into something dark, Sun King Avad has nothing to do with it. I'd stake my life on that.
I'll look around.
That's what we came for.